Tyler's story about the passion, that's a real thing, okay? I bought my first FXR and everybody said, what are you doing with it? You tore it all apart, you're painting it, you're gonna lose your ass. Well, these are guys from a town of 380 people that have no idea, right? They don't have anything to look at what I'm looking at. They just think I'm wrecking a perfectly good Harley, okay? Because that's what they have. And they're like, you're taking it apart, you're painting it. Well, I sold it and I made $800. I thought I was winning, right? The next year I bought another stock Harley FXR and I rode that one from South Dakota to Daytona in March. The bank clock said 22 degrees, right? I've got my ski mask on, I'm freezing my ass off, I get all the way out there. And Arlen Ness had just debuted that Ferrari bike, the red one with the big ass tire and the Testarossa scoops in it. And I'm just sitting there staring at that thing, and I walk away and I go somewhere else, and I check out the whole show, and I come back and I'm just like, what is in this guy's brain that makes him think that's okay to do? This is amazing. Like, it's so stupid, so far off the track. I don't even know how he got there, right? And Arlen walks up and he goes, hey, I see you checking out this bike pretty hard. You like that thing, huh? I said, yeah, it's amazing to me. I don't even know what in your brain said this was okay, but I love it. Good job. And he goes, where are you from? I said, South Dakota. He goes, well, I bet that was a cold ride. I said, you're damn right. He goes, you seriously rode here from South Dakota? Isn't it cold as shit there right now? I said, yeah, 22 degrees. He goes, man, nice to meet you. That's super cool. He doesn't have to give two shits about who I am, right? I see him a couple years later and I'm looking at this bike and he goes, what are you looking at, Brian? And I said, no, it's a bummer. I was gonna paint my bike like that and I had that idea. And he goes, who cares? He goes, do it your way. He goes, you wouldn't use those goofy floorboards, would you? I said, hell no. He said, what else would you do different? And I started telling him, he goes, okay, promise me you'll always put your blinders on and just do it the Brian Klock way. He's the godfather of custom motorcycles, bar none, and he's taking the time to tell a kid from a town of 380 people with 14 kids in my graduating class what I should do, and he's like, put your blinders on, okay? I didn't know rake from a hole in my head. So I go grab my FXR and I take it all apart. My dad's super pissed off because I ruined my perfectly good motorcycle I just bought brand new. And I put it in the back of my mom's Monte Carlo and I drive it to Minneapolis because they told me Donnie Smith could rake my frame. Well, I'm pretty nervous. I don't want to just cut my frame. A lot of you guys probably have, and good on you. But I was a little freaked out. I was a little too conservative, right? So I take it up to Donnie Smith. I pull into his house. I take the frame into the garage behind the house. And here's Rob Roll, his metal guy, who's this monster of a dude. And I am the ultimate 98-pound weakling, and I always have been. And he says, what do you want? I said, I called Donnie up. We're going to rake this frame. All right, I got you. Is that it? I'm like, well, what else should I do? You know, what else do you have suggestions for? And then Donnie comes around and he goes, what do you want to do to this thing? I said, I want to put this gas cap in it. I want to put the fender, and I want the fender to have 2 slots in it because my first ever car was a 1970 Chevelle, and it has these 2 little slots for the marker lights, and I want my car to kind of match my bike a little bit. He goes, okay, well, I'm building this fender strut that slides right on the back of the fender and you don't see any of the bolt holes. And I'm doing one for a friend of mine in California, and I'm doing one for the head of the Hells Angels in Minneapolis, and then I'll do yours. Would that be cool? I'm like, hell yeah, that would be cool. Are you kidding me? You're Donnie Smith, right? And after that, he answered every question and just took care of me and was like my dad in the industry, to the point where I'm sleeping on Donnie Smith's couch eating leftover chili, and he's talking to me about houseplants, because Donnie Smith is truly into houseplants. And not marijuana, just fucking regular old houseplants. And you just think, what the hell? You know, how did, like, I didn't know that. And these guys are regular guys. And when I'd be working my ass off and just broke as a joke and robbing Peter to pay Paul to build the next bike, and I'm taking your money to build his bike, and then now I got to get the rest of your money because he needs some more parts for his bike, and I'm not ready to build him yet, but I got to pay this guy who's working for me. That's a real thing, okay? You might have walked in here today and said, I don't have the biggest booth, or I don't have all those cool tops like Steve at Speed Kings does. But probably the first time Steve did this, he didn't either, okay?
I started out of a PT Cruiser.
Yeah. I mean, how cool is that? It's not cool. You're right. It's not cool at all, but you're right. It's still a PT Cruiser. But it got him to the show, and so that's what I'm telling you. People said, well, what do you expect to do, Brian? And I said, I hope to one day be one of the gentlemen of our industry. I want to be a Donnie Smith or an Arlen Ness. And I am a hamster, and I've been a hamster since 1999. And there's some hamsters that are complete fucking pricks. There's some guys in this room right now that are complete fucking pricks. You're selfish assholes, okay?
Sorry.
And if you can get over yourselves, right, and you can think about something else or how you could do something better for somebody.
Mark's right here. He can hear you, Brian. Come on.
What's that?
Mark's right here. He can hear you.
And you go over and some kid asks you a question and you just think you're too fucking cool and you don't have the time for that. You're wrong. Take the time for that. It's going to come back to you tenfold. I always say I'm the luckiest guy ever because I get to be the quarterback of klockwerks. I don't give a shit if anybody knows there's a Brian Klock in klockwerks. Klockwerks stands for good quality parts, and you know that if you buy something from us and it's not right or something was screwed up and you call us, we're gonna fix it, right? And Terry Vance told me that a lot of years ago. He goes, Brian, just fix it. I'm like, Terry, I don't know if that guy bought that windshield on eBay and he's just scammed me. I don't even know if he took it out of the dumpster. Are you sure? He goes, it doesn't matter. It will work itself out. Suddenly we're taking care of all these guys and all their stupid problems and all these things they fuck up. And they're coming to us and it's like, what are we gonna do? And I'm like, okay guys, but look at this. The sales are this. The returns and the people you took care of are this. It seems like a problem because you're taking care of 4 problems every day, right? But those 4 problems don't match up to the 40 things that you sold that this guy and this guy and this guy were stoked about. And they're telling their friends it's good stuff. Take care of the guy anyway. Terry Vance was absolutely right. Terry Vance has built a hell of a brand, okay? So be a Donnie Smith, be a Terry Vance, be an Arlen Ness. But remember, put your blinders on, do it your way. Donnie one time told me, he said, Brian, if you can't get this out of your head, you can do it. But maybe you should go work at a bank. Maybe you should run a motel. Maybe you should just do something other than this, for God's sakes, because there's not a lot of money in the motorcycle industry. And I'm like, okay, Donnie, I get it. He's like, but if you can't get out of your head, then just go ahead and do it. Well, here I am, I'm doing it, okay? The other thing I will tell you is learn really early what you're not good at, okay? I'm a terrible accountant. I really suck with money, okay? I'm not the best painter. I'm not a good welder. Hell, I'm not even a good motor builder, okay? But I surround myself with people that are good at that. My wife is an accountant. She's amazing with money. She's not much for culture, but she's an accountant, okay? And so, at
Brian,
the end
she's
of
right
the
here.
day, it's at the end of the day, that's a thing, right? You didn't get into this and you didn't want to be an entrepreneur because you like to manage people. You want to be an entrepreneur because you're really good at leather, right? Because you're crazy as shit and you just do fun stuff that people just want to be a part of, right? And inevitably it works out for you, right? But then all of a sudden you try to scale like Bill's saying, and like who's going to get the stuff from A to B? And I know you don't like setting up the booth, but somebody's got to set up the booth. And I know you don't want to do the social media, but somebody's got to do the social media, right? And how do you handle all that stuff? And so, you know, the grace of God, I'm the quarterback, okay? But I'm surrounded by the most incredible team. And it makes me emotional because my dad said, you can't fucking do that, kid. You can't travel all the time. You can't go here and there. You're never gonna make any money. Like, well, you're so stupid, you know? Maybe I'm stupid, but I can see what other people can't see. And when I call the play that we're gonna do baggers instead of all the cool kid bikes, bam, my brand blew up. I'd rather do the cool kid bikes. I didn't want to be the windshield guy. That was never my goal. I wanted to be like Tyler at Lowbrow. I wanted to have these cool tattoos. I wanted to have all these choppers. I don't give a shit if it's a Honda 750. I'm not that guy. Now, I'm the magnetic phone mount guy. How the
You're the
fuck did
bobblehead
that
guy,
happen?
Brian. Let's not forget about the bobbleheads.
And we all wanna be
Yeah, and I had
Tyler.
my own bobblehead. Yeah, that's a real thing. What
Tyler's
the
got
hell's
great
the
hair, he's
matter
really
with
tall.
me?
We all want to be Tyler. Way to state the obvious.
The tattoos were before the motorcycle.
But you're the bobblehead guy, Brian.
Yeah, and so, that was the running joke. Like, we need to make a bobblehead because you designed this windshield and it takes away all that bullshit. You ride this clean pocket of air. Oh, yeah, we should have a bobblehead. Well, what does my team do? They call the bobblehead company, and next thing you know, I see this thing on the desk, and I'm like, who the hell did that? We make 250 of them. People dig it. They're having fun with it. And then we had the bobblehead army, right? These people are taking this damn bobblehead. The arms are breaking off, the neck's breaking. They're gluing them back together. They got them in their bike. They're taking pictures of them. And I'm like, okay, this month, the challenge for bobbleheads was, where do you eat pizza? Because every day is pizza day in my world. I want to go to your favorite pizza joint. The diviest, shittiest one, the nicest, bougiest one. I don't care. It's still pizza. It's the universal language of the world. Everywhere you go, there's good pizza. And so we did it, right? Everybody's like, that's marketing genius. I'm like, no, it's a bunch of people picking on me because I always talk about the bobblehead effect. Well, it worked, okay? And so sometimes that passion, which is what I think Biltwell embraces, you get a guy like Magoo and a guy like Bill, and they get together. At one point, they're passionate about BMX bikes, and then they turn their passion on motorcycles, and this thing goes crazy. They don't have to do this show at all. This started out as a parking lot thing where they're just trying to clearance out all their shit, right? And then it starts into something bigger, and they're like, well, maybe you want to get rid of your stuff too. Or maybe you just need something to do in January if you live in South Dakota or Ohio. And they welcome us in here, but then they take it one notch further and they're like, let's put tubs of beer and let's have some really incredible tacos and let's just see if we can talk about real life, okay? And right now, you guys aren't on your phones because we're just really talking and telling stories, which is what we forget to do. You post the coolest part of your life, but you don't talk about when your shop got flooded in 2019 and there's 4 feet of water over all your motorcycles and you lost $1 million like that. And why? Because the insurance guy calls you at 10 a.m. the next morning and says, oh, by the way, you're not covered. Are you fucking kidding me? This happened 10 years ago. It had 8 inches of water and you said it was gonna be good. And now I'm really not covered? I thought we talked about this. I'm sorry, Brian. I said, not as sorry as I am. Click. Okay, what do you do at that point? You walk in and you tell your staff, if you don't like that desk, if you don't like that file cabinet, there's gonna be a roll-off box out here in about 20 minutes. I just called my friend who owns the local trash company. There'll be one at this door, one at that door, throw this shit away. We're not waiting for an insurance adjuster, we're not waiting for anybody. The good Lord wants us to clean this place up right now. Throw this shit away. Throw all of it away. They're like, you're serious? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Neighbors are coming in, they're like, how can we help? I'm like, I don't know. Just grab that stuff, take that stuff out of those boxes, those file cabinets, all that paper's worthless. I can't even make heads or tails of any of those files. Throw the shit away, just throw it away. 3 years later, we finally get our place all rebuilt. And I'm telling you right now, it's like a fort for big kids. It is the coolest damn shop. We have the best place to work. And when I walk in there, I'm blown away that we did it, and my wife paid cash. If it was me, I would have fucked it away. And so, how do you recover from $1 million loss? Your friends start calling you, going, Brian, I can come get 6 bikes. I can get 8 bikes. Hey, Brian, I can help you with this. Hey, Brian, I just started a Kickstarter, GoFundMe, whatever the hell thing, right? And they're calling you and your phone's blowing up and you can't even understand what's going on or who is next to try to help you. And the nation is saying, I can help you. The motorcycle community is saying, I can help you. It's like going to your own funeral. I don't recommend it, but it works. And when you understand what a big deal that is, coming out on the other side of it, you're not going to take what's happening here lightly, ever, okay? Because the good Lord didn't design you to get a bunch of guns and some drugs and go stand on an island and by yourself and try to figure out your damn problems. When Bill said you got to have the right team, he's not kidding. It takes a community. It takes this happening. And if you say, Brian, I saw you do this and that, and you do this and that, and you've got a certain way that you sell things on the internet, and you've got a certain way you do it, and you've got a certain way that you pull off events, and now that you've done all these internet things, now you're becoming a manufacturer. How spooky is that? That's what we're up here for, okay? We want you to know that all day tomorrow, all night tonight, you can come up here to us and ask questions. You can ask questions right where you're sitting right now. But the idea is, that's what we're here for. We're not better than you, we're not different than you. Well, maybe we're different than you. We're uglier than most of you. We're probably damn sure, except for him, Mr. GQ here. But at the end of the day, we want to help you, okay? Because if I don't have a guy like Shelton who comes in my shop, and says, the baby mama is bailing, I got to take care of my son. He's 6 years old or 8 years old or whatever the hell he was at the time. And I've met Shelton before. And I'm picking on Shelton right now because he didn't know I was going to tell the story. But I think it matters to all of you. Because all of a sudden he comes up and he says, you know, hi, I'm Shelton. The first time he's like, I can weld, I got a plasma, I can build bikes, I can paint, I can powder coat, I can. Okay? Shelton comes into my shop and I said, you know what I need right now? He goes, I just wondered if you had any job openings. I said, you know what I need right now? I need a guy to run my distribution center. I need someone that gives a shit about getting that package in the box and getting it to that customer better than anybody. Because that's the first thing they see. They open that box and that's their impression of lowbrow. Damn it, lowbrow didn't send me my stickers. I really wanted stickers. That's a big deal. That's a real thing, okay? He says, I can do it. I can help you, okay? Now, Shelton's been there a couple of years, right? I count on Shelton. Sheldon's now stepped in the social media side of life with me, and now I count on Sheldon to answer the Instagram questions, the Facebook questions, because now, if you don't answer somebody within 24 hours, you're an asshole, your company's an asshole. I mean, that's how they'll buy something from you on Facebook Messenger. What the hell? I mean, I don't understand that. They'll give you their credit card number on Facebook Messenger. How safe is that? I don't know, but thank you, Sheldon, for doing that. And thank you for just coming to me. And when I said, I don't want you to be the welder, to be the mechanic, to be the painter, to be the powder coater, to be all the things you told me you could do. And I know you can do it. But remember, you're not the best at all those things. What are you the best at? Figure out what you're the best at and be the best part of that team that Bill's talking about, because that gets you to these events. That gets him out of South Dakota in 23 inches of snow out here in San Diego where he's having a good time. Okay, I'm done.
I like hearing you talk, Brian. I can always listen. I know Brian's not bullshitting when he says you can go talk to him after this. He'll be in his booth. He'll talk to you about a lot of stuff, and he's done a lot of things. He's a pretty humble dude. He's been in the industry longer than anybody else on this stage, probably anybody else in this building. So he's definitely somebody that a lot of us should go bend his ear if you got a minute.